You are welcome to Corrosive Online Tutorials, where complex topics are made simple. In today's video, we'll be talking about tissues. Okay, so what is tissue? Now, tissue is a group of cells that work together to achieve a common goal. Okay, they work together to achieve a common goal. Now, tissue can be found in plants, they can also be found in animals. And the study of tissues is known as histology. Okay, histology is the study of tissues. Okay, so in this video, I want to do a kind of general introduction into tissues in plants and that of animals. Okay, so let's look at tissues. Tissues can be divided into two. Basically, we have plant tissues. Okay, the tissues can be divided into two. Okay, basically we have plant tissues. We have plant tissues. Basically, then also we have animal tissues. We have animal tissues. We have animal tissues. Now the plant tissue can be divided into two. The plant tissue can be divided into two. So I can divide the plant tissue into two. One is called the meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. And the other one is called permanent tissue. It's called permanent tissue. Okay, now the meristematic tissue, the word meristematic is derived from the Greek word meristos. Is derived from the Greek word meristos. And meristos means dividing. It means dividing. Okay, or divided. The word meristos means divided. So in other words, I can say that the meristematic tissues are also known as dividing tissue. They are also known as dividing tissue. Okay? They are also known as dividing tissue. Why the permanent tissue can also be referred to as the non-dividing tissue. The non-dividing tissue. The non-dividing tissue. Okay? So now the meristematic tissue are those parts of the plant that grows. Okay? The meristematic tissue are those parts of the plant that experience growth through cell division. And the meristematic tissues can be divided into three because there are three different areas where the plant experiences growth, where the plant experiences cell multiplication. Number one is we have what we call the apical. The apical tissue. We have the apical tissues. Number two, we have the lateral tissue. We have the lateral tissue. And number three, we have the intercalary tissue. We have the intercalary tissue. So we have the apical tissue, we have the lateral tissue, and we have the intercalary tissue. Now, the apical tissue is the part of the plants like the shoots and the roots. The shoots or the roots and the shoots of the plant. That is where we find the apical tissues at the roots or shoots of the plant. This tissue is responsible for the elongation, okay, for the elongation of the plant, okay. Then the other one, which is the lateral tissue, are found in the gills. The gills, or we can say cambium. The gills or cambium of the plant. Okay, the word lateral there means side to side. So they are responsible for the thickness of the plant. They are responsible for the thickness of the plant. Then the intercalary tissue are found at the base of the leaf, or they grow at the twigs that becomes branches, or the internodes. We can say the internodes of the plant. They grow and the twigs becomes branches. So the base of leaves, and they help the twigs to grow into branches. They help twigs to grow into what? Into branches. Okay, so these are the various parts of the plant that experience growth through cell division. Then the permanent tissues are of two types. The permanent tissues can be broken down into, number one, you have the complex tissue, and you have the simple tissue. You have the complex tissue and you have the simple tissue. The complex tissue performs the function of transportation, and the complex tissue can be broken down into two. Here you have the xylem, here you have the phloem. The complex tissue can be broken down into two, the xylem and the phloem. The xylem transports mineral salt and water from the soil to the plant, while the phloem transports manufactured food from where they are produced to where they are needed by the plant. Then the simple tissues can be broken down into three. One, we have the parenchyma. We have the collenchyma, and we have the sclerenchyma. These are the simple tissues: the parenchyma, the collenchyma, and the sclerenchyma. Okay, now when we talk about the plant tissues or the animal tissues are divided into four. There are four basic animal tissues. So the animal tissues can be divided into four. Number one, we have the epithelial tissue. Okay, and this classification of animal tissues is based on their function. Okay, the epithelial tissue performs the function of protection. It performs the function of protection. Number two, we have what we call the muscular tissue. The muscular tissue performs the function of locomotion or movement. Okay, not only that, number three, we have also what is called the nervous tissue. The nervous tissue is found in animals, and it performs the function of transmission of signals. Okay, transmission of signals. That is the work of the nervous tissue. The first one, we have the epithelial tissue. The second one, we have the muscular tissue. The third one, we also have what we call the nervous tissue. Like I said, the epithelial tissue performs the work of protection. Okay, this is just a general introduction. Okay, in my next video, I'm going to discuss each of these tissue, what they do and where they are found in the body or in the plant or in the animal. Okay, but this video is treating about the general view of all tissue. So the epithelial tissue is for protection. Okay, it's found in the animals. Then we have what we call the muscular tissues. They are for locomotion or movement. Then we have the nervous tissue for the transmission of signal. Then we also have the connective tissue. Okay, we have the connective tissue. This one is for connection, that connects tissues to another. Okay, so these are the various plant tissues and animal tissues. Like I said, the meristematic tissues are also known as the dividing tissue because they divide, while the permanent tissue, they do not divide. Okay, They do not divide, and the permanent tissue can be divided into the complex tissue and the simple tissues. Okay, now the complex tissue perform the functions of transport. They transport material within the plant, while the simple tissues perform the work of support. They give support to the plant. They give support to the plant. They support the plant. Okay, so in my next video, I will take my time to discuss each of these types of tissues and what they do in the plant or in the animal. Until then, bye bye for now. Thank you.